Hello, today I'm going to read you Yikes in 7 Wild Adventures, Who Would You Be? I have to read pretty fast because I only have 10 minutes for this video. I've already had 2 goes and I haven't made it yet. It's dedicated to Joan and Eric, my husband Eddie's parents. So here we go. In a raging storm at sea, who would you be? Salty Scott the captain trying to bring his ship around. La Cantina singing in a clinging velvet gown. Sparrow Cripps the cabin boy, skinny, small and shy, or Jack the Stirrer rolling out the pastry for a pie. Bragging of the sharks his slaughtered blood and guts McCoy, the baby heiress playing with a pearl-encrusted toy. Sparky on his crackling wireless calling SOS, or Lady Claire St. Martin and her favourite racehorse Bess. When you turn the page, you see what's happened. The captain sings a love song as he goes down with his ship, to the overweight soprano who has made the lifeboat tip. The cabin boy's a hero, he's pulled a dozen in, while Jack the Stirrer floats away astride a biscuit tin. The sharks have called it even with blood and guts McCoy, and the richest baby in the world is bobbing like a boy. Sparky perches on a rock to send an orange flare, but the lady and her thoroughbred have vanished, who knows where. In the Wild West, who would you be? Billy Joe Coyote with a saddlebag of gold, Little Wolf her partner riding recklessly and bold, Dirty Socks O'Loughlin who has never had a bath, or Tracker Eddie following a cougar down the path. Bad and Sins, the evil twins who ride with dirty socks, the smiling Spanish dancer as silent as a fox. Perhaps you'd be the sheriff riding shotgun on the coach, or shuffling Sal the card sharp showing off her diamond brooch. Little Wolf leaps fearlessly to stop the horses bolting, and a cougar gnaws O'Loughlin, though the smell is quite revolting. Billy spurs her buckskin mare across the yawning gap, and Tracker Eddie dangles from his own ingenious trap. A rattlesnake surprises bad, one twitch and he'll be dead. For target practice, Sal shoots the sombrero off his head. The sheriff drops a rope round Sins, but when the dust has cleared, the dancer and the priceless diamond brooch have disappeared. Under the big top, who would you be? The flying fabuloso hurtling through space, straight and steady on the high wire antimatter Grace. Trixie Rider bareback on her famous dapple greys, or the daring human cannonball who's seen far better days. Vesuvius breathing fireballs from his badly blistered lips, Atlas striding powerfully with 7 on his hips, little Lenny trembling in the corner of the cage, or Catra lashing desperately to curb the leopard's rage. Have you chosen someone? This is what's happened. Fabuloso's missed his swing and heads towards disaster, but the cannonball flicks out a rope when he goes falling past her. Vesuvius makes a wall of fire to keep the cats at bay, and a pyramid of sturdy dwarves helps Atlas save the day. Distracted, Grace slips off the wire and tumbles like a leaf, but breaks her fall on Trixie's greys as they trot underneath. Little Len is safe, although his trousers have a rip, but all that's left of Catra is her silver-handled whip. In the frozen north, who would you be? Missing Toes O'Reilly on a lone prospecting trip, Annie Black the cowgirl and her baby brother Pip, Shifty Jackson racing with a meagre load of pelts, or Willie keen to beat him home before the crossing melts. Georgia Swift the Mountie tracking down her man, a hard embittered contract killer known as Deadly Dan. Maddie Waters whistling as she paddles down the stream, or the lost and frozen traveller trying not to scream. The traveller sees a friendly light. He stumbles, drawn and grim, up to O'Reilly's campfire, but the wolves are closing in. Deadly Dan lines up his man and starts to squeeze the trigger, but Georgia's headlock brings him down. She's faster and much bigger. As Willie crashes through the ice, his huskies race ahead, but Maddie drags him out before he's frozen blue and dead. Annie grabs a burning branch to drive away the pack, and Shifty Jackson's gone, although his laughter echoes back. Beyond the Milky Way, who would you be? Commander Sarah Stardust out to save the human race, Riptide with his lifeline broken, spinning off in space. Space Patroller 99 returning to the dock, or Professor Fuzzy Logic with a strangely ticking rock. UR2 the robot rocking robo-quads to sleep, evil lords suck people up emerging from the deep, the master of the aliens advancing with his horde, or the transgalactic bus conductor Carburetor Claude. '99 is decimating aliens with her laser. Stardust fights beside her with a parabolic phaser, while UR2's extending arm locks to the mothership. His human-sensing safety line locates and rescues Rip. Claude tumbles off the space bus in a shower of meteors to be ambushed by suck people up and forced between his jaws. The rock explodes and drives the aliens back to outer space. Fuzzy Logic threw it, now he's gone without a trace. In the steaming jungle, who would you be? Princess Sweet Bananas wearing hand-embroidered silk, Little Toot her brother with the sugar tea and milk, Jam Shed riding Trunky through the rushing mountain stream, or Lilliput the painter in a Technicolor dream. The leader of the bandits with a knife between his teeth, playing on his magic flute the cobra charmer Keith. Alibar the jewel thief sneaking off with Lily's gold, or the animal photographer wondering why his back feels cold. The bandits leap from hiding, but a tiger brings one down, and Took knots out another with his sister's silver crown. Trunky plucks bananas from the wildly swinging bridge, and Alibar the jewel thief meets a python on the ridge. When Lily wakes, a hissing snake strikes terror in her soul, but Keith the charmer plays a tune and lures it to his bowl. The photographer has just taken an extraordinary snap, but Jamshed isn't in it, just his slowly sinking cap. In a Transylvanian castle, who would you be? Fatal Borg the butler with pale and clammy skin, Gory Lip the housemaid saying, "Darlings, do come in." Ernestine and Thomas sent to stay the night, or Helmet with his dribbling hound that seems inclined to bite. Long dead cousin Wilma howling in the hall, Farty Schmitz the hunchback climbing up the wall, Segundo Hand who's friendly despite his scars and stitches, or Little Min and Morty Nose, two antiquated witches. When Fatal Borg reveals his fangs and threatens to attack, young Ernestine whips out her cross and sends him reeling back. Thomas grabs his pointy stick as Gory needs the bed and pokes it in her wicked heart to kill the vampire dead. Farty Schmitz the hunchback slips and plummets through the night, while Little Min and Morty get their witchy mixture right. Helmet and his hound are chasing Wilma to the wood, but Segundo Hand has disappeared, presumably for good. And here's what happened. Bess swam bravely through the waves and Lady Claire clung tight. They struggled in the foaming seas for 2 days and a night. The ocean finally washed them up along the Ivory Coast, where Claire trains polo ponies, but she still loves Bess the most. The Spanish dancer stole the brooch, determined to be wealthy, but money can't buy happiness or even keep you healthy. Despite a life of luxury, she started feeling queer. The brooch was an unlucky one. She died within a year. Catra felt a coward leaving Lenny to his plight, but her nerves were shot to pieces and she couldn't sleep at night. She went to leave a wholesome life, avoiding sweets and fats, and ran a home for lost dogs, having always hated cats. Shifty thought he'd pulled a Swifty stealing Willie's sled. He'd seen his rival crashing and assumed that he'd be dead. "This pile of pelts will make me rich," he yelled. "I'll be the winner." But down the track a grumpy grizzly guzzled him for dinner. Outer space is dangerous, the going can get rough. Professor Fuzzy Logic finally knew he'd had enough. He hopped aboard a space bike and headed back to Mars, where he hosts a television show explaining quarks and stars. When Jamshed lost his balance and the current swept him south, Bananas pulled him out half drowned and gave him mouth to mouth. From that moment it was obvious they were made to love each other, so they rode away on Trunky, waving farewell to her brother. Segundo, as it happened, was a most unusual man. He could take out both his eyeballs and disconnect his hand. He left the haunted castle where everyone was mean and became the greatest conjurer the world has ever seen. And that's Yikes. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for listening.